Dry mode vs cool mode in aircon. The primary differences between an air conditioner's cool mode and dry mode. In this day and age when temperatures are reaching record-breaking levels in various countries worldwide, it is apparent that we are becoming increasingly reliant on temperature and humidity-altering devices like air conditioners and heaters. There is without a doubt, though, that, in Singapore, more people are using the former than the latter. And, considering this increase in need for air conditioners, wouldn't it be just appropriate for people to start learning how their units work, its various modes and general functionality? After all, taking the time to study them could prove to have many benefits, making the most out of their device and saving energy, to name a few. Are you aware, for instance, of the major differences between an air conditioning unit's cool mode and dry mode? Very few people take the time to know them that, regardless of what mode their unit is currently in, they practically couldn't tell the difference between the two. Most people just rely on the standard and familiar cool mode most of the time. While there's nothing wrong with having your air conditioner running permanently on cool mode, a fact which would be explained later on, it wouldn't hurt to learn the other features of your unit, right? After all, its developers wouldn't have included them if they served no important purpose. One can argue that some air conditioners do not even have a dry mode. However, in a generally tropical country like Singapore where humidity levels can increase by as much as 80 to 90% in certain times of the year, air conditioning units with a dry mode should be opted more. This tip should be followed all the more so by people who reside near the sea and other locales where humidity have a tendency to increase due to various weather conditions, i.e. storms, monsoons, etc. The importance of the dry mode. In order to understand and distinguish the two modes from each other, we would have to explain the functioning of each in detail. Let's start with the lesser-known mode first. The dry mode, as has been stated above, essentially takes care of the humidity levels in a room. It is commonly distinguished from its counterpart by a separate icon on the air conditioner's remote control. Normally, it is a single drop of water with a set of arrows curling and pointing upwards. This is used to signify its main function, which is to reduce the humidity brought about by high moisture levels in the air of a certain place or venue where the air conditioner is installed. The most evident difference between the cool mode and dry mode is that in the latter mode, your air conditioner wouldn't be releasing cool air and is technically not actively cooling the room. Nonetheless, since humidity plays a big role in raising room temperature, using the dry mode to decrease humidity could also bring about a cooling effect. Some users may even feel that cool air is being blown out during dry mode, but this is actually produced by the said mode's dehumidification process. This effect is felt better in a room where the humidity levels are 90% or more. While the dry mode does a good job in lowering air moisture, keep in mind that it shouldn't be used to completely remove the humidity of the room. It should only be used to maintain humidity at a level that is ideal for human comfort. After all, dry air in excess levels is just about as uncomfortable as an extremely humid room. This is why most experts suggest that the air conditioner should only run in dry mode for 1 to 2 hours, at most. How the dry mode works. If you're curious as to how the dry mode performs, let us give a concise explanation of its basic functions. You may be wondering why your unit is still blowing out air even when in dry mode. Well, this is because when dry mode is active, the air conditioner is practically sucking the moisture from the room, which it then releases through the unit's built-in drain hose or pipe. This is why, when in dry mode, you can expect to see higher amounts of water being expelled by your air conditioner, especially if the room is very humid. Dry air will, in turn, be released by your unit's fans to regulate the room's humidity. Many have compared this function to what dehumidifiers can do. While their workings are comparatively similar, dehumidifiers actually work better in optimally dehumidifying rooms, especially large ones, and has a number of other functions, which an air conditioner's dry mode can't really do. With that said, what clearly makes the dry mode an important addition to an air conditioning unit's arsenal is the fact that it can cool a room even without relying on the traditional way that most units cool rooms, i.e. the cool mode. It has also been proven that running an air conditioner in dry mode can actually save a lot of power. What makes the cool mode different? The cool mode is the default mode that many air conditioners run in and is heavily reliant on the unit's compressor to bring about significant cooling. In this mode, you only need to set the temperature that you want the room to achieve as well as the unit's fan speed. Once the desired temperature has been achieved, the compressor stops, but the fan still works in keeping the cool air evenly distributed. This process also reduces the room's humidity, but what makes things different is that the cool mode doesn't have the ability to maintain it. Additionally, as opposed to the unit's other modes, this mode also consumes the most power. This is why, since most people leave their units running in this mode, it shouldn't be a surprise to see an increase in your electric bill at the end of the month, especially if you've been using your air conditioner more frequently. If you want a balance in comfort and money saving, experts suggest that you keep your temperature at 25 degrees Celsius. Now that you know the difference between these two modes, though, you can now start using your air conditioner properly, setting it running in the appropriate mode based on the current temperature and humidity of the room. This could go a long way in using your unit properly as well as your power-saving efforts.